But Kausar, I have to ask.
Yeah.
Because this is something that I would feel.
Yeah.
Did you feel that you fit in when you went to
Yeah.
Silicon Valley? Because this is something I know I would have grappled with and struggled with.
Did I fit in? I was definitely very visibly Muslim.
Mm-hmm.
I think going to Silicon Valley in my 40s, I had a very different perspective. I think if I went in my 20s, I would have been very much aware of how I stood out. Yeah. I think going now and having lived experience, I kind of used it to my advantage. I'm like, yeah, I do stand out. Yep, that's my USP. That's why I bring a different perspective. So did I necessarily fit in? Maybe not. If you think of someone who's in Silicon Valley, right? You're not going to think of a Canadian-born Muslim, Pakistani, or like ethnicity, hijabi. You're not going to think of me, pharmacist in her 40s, being in Silicon Valley, right? But I think that worked to my advantage because then I did stand out. So people are like, okay, well, what are you about? They wanted to know my story.
They were curious.
Super curious.
Do you feel that you were treated differently?
No. Let me tell you why. Because I think it's not that I don't allow it. I don't really care about being treated one way or another, right? I'm going to be who I am. If you want to ask me questions, you want to understand what I'm doing, how I got here, absolutely ask me. Within my cohort, no, I did not feel that I was treated differently. When I went to events, honestly, because I don't have that, it's not something I'm looking for. So if you're not looking for how people are treating you, you're not going to clock that. You're not going to be like, oh yeah, they looked at me different, or they're not talking to me the same that they're talking to another person. That's not even on my, it's not something that I'm looking for. I'm going in to network. I'm going in to find people who are like-minded and to share my story. That's it. So when you go in laser focused, you're not going to really be distracted by that.
But did you feel that there were things that you couldn't do?
Yes.
Because of your background?
Yes. I think some of the networking, because there was alcohol present and I don't do that, that made me uncomfortable. I don't think it was as inclusive in that sense. But then I'm also finding, to be honest, I don't think that's a Silicon Valley problem. There was an event I was invited to Dubai, and I walked in and everyone was drinking. I was like, okay. And I walked out because I didn't feel comfortable, right? So I think there is this element of, networking in the startup world or in the business world where, alcohol is involved, and that just makes me uncomfortable and doesn't align with who I am and my faith. So I just remove myself from that situation. Is that hindering my networking opportunities? I'm going to say no. Let me tell you why. Because maybe those people are not going to understand or be aligned with what I'm trying to do. So that's okay. That's not the people I need to meet. There are other opportunities for me to meet people. There are other opportunities for me to find people who understand what I'm trying to do, who I can collaborate with. For example, one of the field trips, if that's the right word, in Silicon Valley was to Stanford. So I met people there who was like, okay, yeah, Stanford's huge on research. That's something that I want to do. So I made my networks. I met people there who I'm still in conversation with. That had nothing to do with, the evening networking events. So I think you can find opportunities that don't compromise who you are. I don't look at it as I'm missing out. I really don't. I think what's meant for me is going to come to me. I think my faith and being Muslim does really drive how I do business or how I even approach my startup journey. If it's meant for me, it's going to come. And alhamdulillah, a lot has come my way. And if it's not meant for me, then it wasn't good for me. So then I just leave it.